Coverage of NAB 2016 is brought to you by SlickWraps.com, CyberAcoustics, and SellCashier.com.
I can't think of anything to do.
First thing that strikes me is that it's not quite even. You got a little bit more space on this side than this side, but that's not a huge deal. The other thing is, if you're going to leave in some of the words, you need to leave in all of the words. And you got a little cut off here. He may have been hanging around with Tomas for a little bit too long and just decided to cut things off. The other thing is that the lights, I know because I was there, look like this, but it looks weird in the picture, almost like false lighting. I don't know what it is, but so that if I gave this a rating, we'll go with a out of 10. I'm gonna give this like a 6 out of 10. My notes on Mike for his 5 minutes was too long. He committed to this one and he didn't like it. The minute he started, he's like, I'm not really feeling this, but he kept moving around and he committed so long that he really had to take the picture. And then he went and couldn't find some. I think this threw him off, and then he couldn't get his groove after that. That was Mike's structure picture, so we'll jump to the other structure pictures. This one is Carlos's. He's at Premier Reviewer. Mike, if I did not mention, is at MTP Flyers. There'll be links for their Instagrams down in the description. This was a very smart one. Tomas and I both made comments on this booth. This is actually, you can't tell from the picture, which is good, that this is really just like a 12-inch piece that divided the booth, and these are like, I don't know, maybe half-inch dowel rods painted white with some LED light shooting up through it. I like that we have like the rule of thirds, and you're sort of off to the side with the light. It's not directly centered, which I like, but yet these two are centered, but that is off-centered, so I really, really like the way this looks. I'm not 100% sure about the actual editing, the filters that are put on. I think you're losing a little bit of I think you can make it a little bit more dramatic. This scale out of 10, I'm gonna give a solid 8.
Yep.
A little bit of dirt down there. I wish that was gone. Maybe that little hair right there. I'm not sure if that was from his head. Oh no, that's not from his head. Okay, so we're gonna move on.
Make me laugh.
Let's find Tomas Villegas's at Tomas _Villegas on Instagram. This is his structure picture. Now what he did is he ran straight to the back and found an I-beam, and then used that as the one side is focal, but then the other side that is somewhat out of focus is the whole roof. You have the super J.J. Abrams, bam, you're hitting with the lens flares everywhere. I like this little air conditioning duct, sort of semi-centered in it. I like it. I'm not sure about the filter. He made it sort of almost look a little bit retro, like it looks hazy or grainy. So this one I would give a solid 9 out of 10. Cameraman, what the hell is that? So we'll jump right into Carlos's. This is his product, I believe. So this is his product. He did the HTC Vive and then the best Bose headphones on the market. I have these myself. I think he's just trying to kiss a little, but I appreciate that.
You know I ain't have time to do
what
that.
I love, his last two pictures were taken in a total of 4 seconds. Time management is not his friend.
No, but I got skills.
But when we go with this, I like the lines from the back. I think it's not quite right. I don't like the spacing, the negative space at the top, and then you cut off his chin, Tomas Villegas style. I really wish if you brought this part up and was just underneath his chin. Honestly, I like you got Bose in there, you got Vibe in there, so, but the composition, I'm gonna knock quite a bit off of. I would say this wouldn't catch me if I was scrolling, but for a second. Oh, okay, Vibe, Bose, and I keep moving. This one, you got a lot going on. I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna give this a 5. 5 out of 10.
Damn. It's okay. It's okay.
How you feel about that 5?
It's okay. That literally happened within the last 5 seconds.
Imagine if you took 6 seconds. Next up is Tomas's product shop. Here they happen to both stop at the HTC Vive booth, which happens to be right outside the door of where we started. first thing I notice is I can tell this is a Tomas. Without even looking at it, I can tell it's a Tomas picture because some of it's cropped off. Tomas likes using crop without using crop. So I like the edit. I like the colors. I like everything about that. I like the grain of the wood, how it sort of goes with the product. I think that was a happy accident. I don't think you could control the grain of the wood, but it is very nice. Framing though, again, same thing. It's a flip of what Carlos did. If this was brought up another, in this, a half an inch, and you had a half an inch up there, you would have gotten this, the wiring sort of making that loop back, and I think it would have been a lot better. Me personally, I probably would have skewed it off to the side a little bit and not had it as centered. But again, overall, shut your mouth, just because it's cropped, I'm gonna give this a 6. We're gonna jump into Carlos's person shot. It looks, and I can't tell if it's the edit or not, but it looks like she may not be the focused area. It looks like it's these back here. So I think he lost his focus, but it could be the edit, so I'm not gonna harp on that too much. It is centered. I don't like it centered. I would like to see, she's obviously looking at something or someone and talking to someone and explaining something. I'd like to get a little bit of that. Even if it was just a little piece of the person's face or whatever she's doing, I'd like to see what's going on there, because it looks like we're sort of lost with that. But overall, being a portrait, technically it's a portrait. I don't really like the composition of it. I would give this a solid 7. Back to, this is the final one in the challenge. This is Tomas Villegas's person. I like this. I know what Tomas was going for. He mentioned it in the video, which you guys should have already seen by now, and he said this is sort of a look at the human right now interaction with technology, that we're sort of always in our phone. So I get that from this picture. But the other thing, I think what would have made this a better picture, if that's the look you're going for, is showing other people. I think you lost that, because if you're sitting by yourself, there's nothing wrong with being on your phone. Now, if there would have been a lady sitting here, a guy sitting over here, a few people over here, obviously you can't control that, but it would have been you would have gotten a sense of, this guy didn't care about the outside world, he's living in his phone, and that's, a big mistake. But no, this is
Total hipster.
This is solid. This is a solid 9. I like the edit. Personally, again, I'm not a big fan of the. I'm not a big fan.
A 9.
Hey, I was in time all the time.
If you start looking at every person, I heard somebody say this, and I can't remember who it was. It could have been Howard Stern. It could have been somebody on his show. It could have been someone else. Everybody's story is interesting. And if you look at everybody and think about what they're doing, Mike walked by a group of hipsters in fedoras and short pants. He walked by a booth of 4 different guys with royal blue and lime green shirts on, dressed all the same, with a mannequin in the middle of them, all standing together.
You know what? I almost took a picture of that as a product.
Everybody has a story. Every picture can tell that story if you frame your composition and if you actually give it an edit. This guy, we say he's arguing with his wife. I would have it really contrasty, maybe black and white, really dark. Products, Mike walked by, Carlos walked by, the same ones, and I smiled when they both walked by it, and it was, they had like computer chips just laying all over the table. There was another wall of LED clocks that were just like a big wall that if you got back at the right angle would look awesome. So my point is, everything can be a good picture. I think Mike knows what he did. Mike understands what the issues were. Tomas did very well. He was ahead of the game, all that stuff. Lowe's time management, but I think he's on his way to maybe earning a follow from GeekyNerdDad. But anyways, that's going to be about it, guys. Just wanted to bring you guys a fun video. We're always talking about Instagram and social media. If you guys have any ideas of any kind of challenges you guys want to see, leave them down below. We're trying to think of new things to make it fun for our subscribers to watch our videos. Let us know down in the comments below if you guys have any challenge ideas. And that's going to be it. We'll see you guys next time. NAB 2016, we are out.
It's time for me to delete that picture of that one.
This one is Dwayne Johnson. I would give this a 0. I would unfollow him if he wasn't The Rock.